When I joined the cause, I never imagined I'd end up here, talking to you like this. Benjamin, Giraud, Petra, they like talking into microphones. It's their superpower. Me, I never saw any of this for my life. I had aspirations. Hope for a better future for myself, for my friends. But it all got corrupted, just twisted. Until I didn't even recognize myself anymore. You don't even care about that, do you? No, you just want to know how we got here. Oh, you've heard Ben's story. The journalist turned Oni scapegoat. Mine's a different kind of story. Perhaps it's not exactly what you were expecting, but this is my story. The story of Pharaoh.
That's what they do. They conceal their atrocities in elaborate theater. They invalidate the truth with their coordinated swarms of lies.
Got visual on Pharaoh.
We had the attention of every man, woman, and child in occupied space. Even the moderates in the inner colonies were starting to wake up. But the UEG got on the networks and sang them a lullaby, putting the masses back to sleep, smearing those who would speak the truth. That's what they did to Benjamin Giraud.
What's the head count down there?
About 130, 140 plus half a dozen VIPs.
Just looks like a bunch of innies in a field to me. Perimeter secure, sir.
Roger that. Hold positions.
They convinced the public that it was Ben who lit this fire in the outer colonies. But we've been burning for decades. Not because a journalist cried injustice, but because our children cried in pain. We offered our resources. We saluted their flag. But when we cried for help, no one came.
Check your 3, Wiley.
Roger that.
When our cities were choking under the insurrection, the UEG called in the cavalry. They leveled our homes. When our families were melting under Covenant warships, the UEG, our government, stood by and watched us die, whole planets. But now, they tell everyone that our struggle was Ben's fabrication? That I was his invention? No, I wasn't invented. I was born in these colonies, and our struggle wasn't fabricated. It was forged in the ash and glass that was left after the Covenant attacks. We survived. And no matter how many lies they shovel on top of us, this fire they started, the ideals we stand for, will never burn out.
Man, that's some scraggly looking innies.
Cut the chatter.
Oh, we got Oni acting as CO now, boys?
Shut it down, Wiley.
Yes, sir.
I hear you. And Ben will get the amnesty he deserves, but not until we had the strength to give it to him. Yeah. We need to send a message to the UEG, a clear sign that
we need to drop a thermonuke and spray Imperialist guns. That's the message we need to send.
Fire to
blood. A UNSC recruitment center or some federal comm target isn't going to free Benjamin Giraud. We have screamed from fire to blood for decades. And for decades, blood is what we've been drowning in. That's what they want. A shooting war, something they know they can win.
It's a movement at the refinery.
Structures out of range. Stay focused on the target.
Every day we plot revenge, they grow stronger. We toss ourselves into the flames, calling it revolution? No, this needs to be a war of ideas. Not fenced in by battlements, but lifted up by economic prosperity. building a force that the UEG will have no choice but to bargain with. That's the war we can win.
You've had a seat here for weeks. It's time to strike.
No, it's time to stop blindly tossing our sons and daughters into
I was at Mamor with the FLP in 2511.
Mamor?
Where the hell were you?
Raphael got scooped.
You weren't even born yet.
Guys all bark.
You stand up in front of a bunch of real freedom fighters and talk soft, like Sakibo. That's the only suicide mission I see you going on.
You need to back up.
You need to watch yourself, youngin'. Grown-ups are talking.
I said, back up. Lostwick, it's fine.
Hey, we got an old school rebel rat approaching the target. Dude looks ready to go.
He should be.
Alpha team, watch your flank.
Roger that.
All right. Go in. Now.
Distractions a go. In 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go!
Target acquired.
Copy that. Get back to the ship. We're clear. Let's roll.
What the f-
Whoa,
Get
whoa,
off me!
What the hell?
Whose op is this, huh? Who authorized
Whoa,
it?
calm down, Pharaoh.
Hey, I outrank you, Lance Corporal. You don't get to call me Pharaoh. It's Commander Sankar to you. Copy? And you just ran guns blazing into an active civilian operation, you corn-fed Cro-Mag. Who authorized
Hey,
it?
I didn't see any civilians down there. Just looked like a bunch of rebel rats to me.
Where's your CO? Your ass is getting put on ice, I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You want to make a drop without a pod trooper, huh? You want to slap a KIA on that jacket?
You gonna kill a Marine now?
You know, from this height, you might just live. Those rebel rats could send you home a piece at a time as a weekly care package to your mom.
Maya.
Damn. That rebel stink must be seeping into your
Do
brain.
not test me.
Maya!
Noah? What in the hell was that? You authorized that strike?
Maya!
What kind of...
I'll explain everything when you get here. Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay, Noah. I'm not okay at all. Half those people were civilians, and you've got Neanderthal hell jumpers going in hard with full ordnance? I mean, what? Wait. There's still another team on the ground?
Yes, there's a second
Call
team.
them back now.
I can't. It's still an active op. Bravo team's on cleanup.
That's not cleanup. That's a slaughterhouse. Sound like a bunch of trigger-happy jumpers killing civilians. Pull the rest of your team now.
No. You were the only deliverable asset.
The only deliverable for what? What is this? I've risked my cover more times than I can remember, and I haven't gotten so much as a whisper from you or Command since I wrapped on Giroux.
No, I'm sorry. Command put us on strict no comms 3 weeks ago. My hands were tied.
I have been in the dark for almost a month, and right now I am in pitch black on whatever the hell this op you're running is, so please, tell me, what?
We had to pull you. It came from the top and it happened fast.
What is Command even doing? When they activated me for Giroux, the whole point was to create more regional stability. I thought they'd have it all locked up by now.
They do.
Tell that to Petra Janicek. After her last message, people are still
You
pissed.
didn't hear? Acquisition team picked her up hiding on a transport freighter out on the fringes.
To what? God, what am I missing? Don't stop looking! Connect the dots before it shoots!
What?
Things are changing inside Oni. What you did. Killing those agents in Ben's apartment.
I can't believe
I know,
this.
listen.
They-
I know.
Section 3 orders me to murder fellow agents, and now they're laying it at my feet?
It's not official, it's just a political move. Someone's trying to appease some of the other commanders.
I looked him up, you know. The 2 agents.
Why would you do
The
that?
younger guy had a 3-year-old daughter. Do you know that?
Maya.
He was 27. And the other agent was a year behind me at the academy. I killed both of them. And for what?
Maya. I wish I knew how to make this easier for you. Everything's just... I tried to do what I could, even though I couldn't reach you. There are questions.
Questions?
Mashak Maradi. Your weapon never registered as fired on that mission. The kill was never recorded.
It didn't register because I didn't use my weapon.
What do you mean?
I'll spare you the gory details. Okay?
You didn't have a choice, Maya.
I know.
He was about to blow your cover if you had...
I know. They listen to me, Noah. They believe in me. or Pharaoh. They want a better life, they really do. They've just never been shown how to get there.
Believe me, I know. Nobody could have predicted what you've been able to accomplish. But the fact of the matter is...
It's outside the scope of my objectives, I know.
Yes.
God. Well, we're gonna have a hell of a time sealing up my cover after that joke of an extraction. We need to assess the post-op ground narrative as fast as possible for the release.
Excuse me, sir. Casualties ready to report.
Go ahead.
26 rebels down, 2 VIPs, 41 injured, survivable.
I need to get back in, Noah.
And you will, Maya. But not yet. They're bringing you to Midnight Facility.
There's something that Oni doesn't understand about human cost. Maybe the people do, the individuals. But as a collective, when you look at people as numbers on a chart, as probabilities, just factors in a bigger equation, what happens is you actually lose the bigger picture. They run these complicated algorithms. You know, they weigh the cost-benefit analysis of what a human life is worth. I recognized every single name on that list of 67 casualties. To Oni, they were just 67 insurgents. But I knew what their voices sounded like. I knew why half of them were there that night, what they wanted for their lives. 7 people who had sworn allegiance to me, who I'd known for years, were dead. I'd lost 2 of the best friends I'd ever had in that operation. And as the person who was sworn to protect them, I didn't know how to process that loss. But what terrified me most was that after 5 years living as Pharaoh, I had no idea what Maya was supposed to think about any of it. As far as my cover went, no one outside the op could know I was an agent. That's why they were shipping me to Midnight Facility, a dark Oni secret hidden in the shadows of an asteroid belt. There are a number of penitentiaries throughout space whose reputations precede them, whose very names strike fear in the hearts of the state's enemies. This facility wasn't one of them. Midnight wasn't about reforming criminals, it was about making them disappear. On the ride up, I asked 3 times to verify the list of casualties. I played the video feeds from the ground over and over, just forcing myself to watch the slaughter, to accept the role I played in it. Not everyone was lost, thankfully. Bostwick, my friend and right hand in the rebellion, was among those who escaped. And that gave me hope. But I couldn't take any comfort as I watched my friends and followers die again and again.
Commander, we're about to land.
Thank you. I looked out the window, but all I saw was a massive asteroid. Hard to believe that inside there was a secret prison with enough firepower to take down a Covenant fleet. As we entered through a hidden entrance on the underside of the rock, the sheer scale of the facility became apparent. Pulsing beacons led us into a dark tunnel. After what felt like an eternity, we made it to the hangar bay.
Clear. Welcome to Midnight Facility.
As soon as the doors opened, I rushed to get off the ship. One of the ODSTs was happily wiping blood off his boots, and all I wanted to do was get away. I found myself standing on the inside of the massive hangar. Walls 100 meters high and totally empty, except for a series of lights guiding us towards 2 small doors. This was a desolate place.
May I remind you, this op is fully blacked out, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Pharaoh. You're welcome.
For what?
For saving your ass out there.
I don't even remember punching him.
Whoa, whoa! Oh, you shouldn't have done that!
You have no idea! There were...
I should have left you to die with those rats, you
Marine!
crazy...
Shut it down! Shut it down now!
I guess I nailed him pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Commander Sankar. Welcome to Midnight. Captain Ryback is expecting you on 18. If you would proceed to the elevator...
I need to go down to the cubes first.
Commander...
I decided to take a detour. There was someone I needed to see.
To Captain Ryback.
The AI seemed surprised, but I had the clearance.
Yes. Please follow the waypoint to your destination.
Blue pulsing lights guided me down a seemingly endless hallway lined with windowless cubes, each identical to the next. Aside from the subtle buzz of the lights, it was silent. I stopped at cube B349.
He's not in a good way, Commander.
Show me. The glass went from opaque to one-way transparency. Inside the cube, between a crude bunk and a small toilet, I saw him, sitting cross-legged on the floor, writing with a tiny, soft pen on real paper. He was deep in thought, mouthing syllables as he worked. The most hated man on Earth, the beloved symbol of protest to tens of thousands in the outer colonies, the brave journalist framed as a traitor. This was Benjamin Giraud. Or at least, what had become of him. I'd promised my followers I would free him. But I wasn't going to. No one was. Oni had cast Ben to the very edge of their empire, and that's where he'd remain. I could barely look at him. Partly because, in a strange way, I considered him my friend. But mostly because I was the one who had put him there. I wasn't looking for forgiveness, though. I felt like I needed to pay. And I was hoping Ben would tear me to pieces. Go to two-way.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't discuss the particulars right now, Counselor. I'm still editing.
Ben. I didn't even see his head turn. But he was suddenly staring right at me. His eyes were impossibly sharp and locked on mine. This was not the Ben I remembered. This was someone else. I felt exposed, like I'd been caught. He stood up, slowly, and I froze. I wasn't at Midnight anymore. I was in Ben's world, and I was an intruder. He walked right up to the glass, and he stopped. I'd wanted to confront what I'd done to Ben, give him a chance to eviscerate me with words. But now that he was right here in front of me, all I kept thinking was that the glass between us felt terrifyingly thin.
Oh, you!
Ben, I know.
I knew it.
Okay, just listen, Ben. I just wanted to tell you that
You're alive!
I'm
sorry, you're alive! I knew you wouldn't go through with that suicide mission. I just kept convincing myself over and over this whole time. Even after I screwed everything up, I kept saying Pharaoh would find another way.
He didn't know. He was happy to see me. I couldn't believe it. I guess I was so busy punishing myself with guilt, I never stopped to consider the possibility that Ben would still believe in Pharaoh. I didn't know what to say.
Wait.
What?
Wait. You can't be here. Do you know what this place is, Pharaoh? You have to go. You have to go now. The AI, they monitor everything. And they'll already be looking for you.
I won't be here long, okay? Don't worry about that. Trust me. I needed to...
Of course. You know what you're doing, obviously. I wasn't thinking. I just... Oh, God, it's good to see you. Are you okay?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I've been writing, keeping busy.
Is that blood on your bunk?
What? Oh, yeah.
What happened?
No,
Is that from one of the guards?
No.
Is that what they're doing to you here?
That was all me. It was all me. It's, I wasn't really prepared for this. You know, solitary confinement. I'd read about it, but it's different in reality. Obviously. And I had a rough patch a couple of times. I lost control of my emotions. You know, it's a pretty standard psychological reaction. But no, that was my fault. There are safeguards now, like if I get too worked up, they can play music to calm me down. If I really lose it, they turn on the gas, and I just go to sleep, and it's fine.
Oh, Ben.
No, seriously, it looks bad. You're right, but that was a while ago. Look, see, my hands are all healed up. It's fine. Wait. No.
What?
Hold up. Show me your compad.
Ben,
No. Come on. Let's not slip back into that. Let's just please show me your compad. I need to see the time.
Okay.
7:43. Got it. Take it down. Okay, show me again. Don't talk. Just show me. 7:43. Thank you. Whew. Okay. This is real. This is real. Got it. Okay, good. Sorry. It's this trick I do to make sure I'm not dreaming. Discontinuity of time is a classic tell, but the time didn't change. So I know this isn't a dream. Yes, I know. I know. It sounds insane. But I don't have a clock, you know? That messes with your head. At first, if I was outside the cell, I knew it was a dream because they don't let me out in reality. But then my dreams were in my cell too, and it got confusing. Like, what's real, what's not?
What's real and what's not. That's what Ben's whole story had been about. He'd fought decades of murky cover-ups to shed light on the atrocities our government had buried, because he believed the public deserved the dignity of knowing the truth. And now, buried in a hole at midnight, he'd been reduced to fighting for the most basic human truth. Ben no longer had the dignity of knowing if anything was real.
Faro.
Yeah, Ben?
Everybody knows I'm the bad guy, right?
They still cheer for you, Ben. People all over the outer colonies, they want you freed. They want justice. They want you out.
No, I don't want that.
What?
No, I want to help. See, I think if people hear this, here, listen. I want to read you what I've been working on. It's
Ben.
It's my way of fixing everything. It's still rough, but it's a message of peace and an apology. At the end, I'm going to thank you personally.
Oh, no.
No,
Ben.
don't worry. Don't worry. I'm not going to name you or anything, but you saved my life, Faro. And not just in my apartment either.
No,
the things
I didn't save your life. I killed 2 innocent people.
No. You were just trying to protect me. You had no choice. If their blood is on anyone's hands, it's mine. I put you in that position. I put those agents
They
in that
weren't
position.
even gonna kill you, Ben. They were just gonna...
This is Commander Michael Sullivan. You are currently in violation of federal prison regulations.
Run. Get out of here, Faro. Now. Please, go. Now. Go.
Step away from the glass and report to my office immediately.
What are you talking about?
This is your last warning.
What are you talking about? What's happening?
You no longer have clearance to speak with my prisoner, Agent Sankar.
Agent Sankar? What?
I'm sorry, Ben.
What is the... No. Show me the time. Show me the time. Show me your compad. Show me the time.
Ben, I just wanted to...
Back, Commander.
No.
I'm sorry.
But you're my friend. What? What, you work for ONI?
Ben, I'm sorry. I just...
How could you do this to me?
Calm down, Ben.
No, don't! Don't, Ben, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I just...
Every day I'm in here! I'm worried about you! I'm worried about Faro! You're not even real!
I'm sorry!
Who are you?
Ben, calm it down or we'll have to shut it down.
No!
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?
Administering sedative.
Don't! No!
Black the glass.
No, please don't! No, Ben? And then, silence. I made a beeline for Sullivan's office. Are you insane?
Maya, have a seat.
I prefer to stand.
I insist.
Or what?
What, are you gonna gas me too?
Sedation is an unfortunate measure we have to take when Ben's hurting himself. Before I got here, he was punching walls. Had no human contact for weeks. He developed a tic. Rubbing his head all day, every day. He rubbed it raw. Nearly took off half his scalp. But then I changed the protocols. Got him medical treatment. Brought in a rep from Justice. I even gave him writing implements to help pass the time. And you know what? Ben stopped hurting himself. No more gassing. Until today, when you decided to show up and pay an unauthorized visit to a prisoner and jeopardize all my hard work, everything we've tried to accomplish
cut the crap,
here.
Sully. Why are you here?
We're prepping Ben as a potential PR asset. A video message for the Free Giraud crowd.
Breaking him? So you can parade him around in one of your depraved stunts?
If by parade him you mean resolve civil unrest, then yes.
Wow.
He wants to do it. You heard him.
That's not the point. He's bled out and you are still squeezing him. And besides, your little stunt, it's not going to play with the sympathizers.
I respect your opinion, Commander. I really do. But when making their assessment on this case, the organization's best analysts apparently didn't feel the need to consult with you. Although, I'm sure the opinions of someone who's been relieving themselves in a swamp for the past 5 years would be very valuable. I'm gonna go ahead and follow chain of command on this one.
See, that's your problem right there. You're still in your glass tower in Boston. You don't have any idea what's happening on the ground.
Look, I've heard the Pharaoh chatter. You're steering factions away from conflict. That's great. But unless your coalition of hugs can spontaneously end rebellion, we're gonna have to destroy some hearts and minds.
By torturing an innocent like Ben, that's the answer?
Ben forfeited his innocence when he tried to tear us down.
Well, maybe we should be torn down.
Spoken like a true traitor.
Oh, save it, Sully. You marched Ben right into this life sentence.
No! I tried to warn him. I gave him every chance to back off. But he wouldn't listen.
Glass planets have bad records? Real clear, Sully.
You may get latitude out there in the shadows, but for those of us in our glass towers, it's not that easy. Pushback against our employer looks a little different when you have surveillance up your ass 24/7. We couldn't just let him air all of our dirty laundry. Then what? Positive change? Open dialogue? No, the public cannot digest real horror. Have you ever seen people tear each other to pieces to get on an evac ship?
Yes, actually I have, up close. How about you?
Well, I can't tell you how to sanitize a spaceport after a stampede, but I am privy to all sorts of data that you are not. That perhaps if you understood, might keep you from turning your anecdotes into theories of everything. If Ben's story had stopped trade for a month, everything would have collapsed.
As much as I hated to admit it, Sully was right. Panic is a very real monster. For as many lives as the Covenant had claimed, Panic had claimed just as many. But Ben had stumbled onto Oni's quiet cemetery of sacred sacrifices, and while terrifying the masses with the whole truth wasn't the answer, if you're Ben Giraud, if you're any civilian, what other weapon do you have?
But enough about me. I'm supposed to be here at midnight. When I call the Rear Admiral, how should I explain you sharing intel with one of the highest profile federal prisoners alive? Nothing? Okay. Stay away from my prisoner. That's a warning.
And you stay the hell away from me. That's a threat.
I get to sleep at night, Maya. What about you? How are you sleeping?
Commander Sullivan.
Corporal?
Commander Sankar. Captain Ryback is waiting for you.
Good luck out there, Maya. And don't worry. This'll all come back around for you. I promise.
My blood was on fire. I had no idea how I was going to be able to handle this debrief. But that wasn't what I was walking into at all.
Maya!
Noah Ryback was one of the first people I ever met at Oni. He was one of my instructors in basic. Always looked out for me.
I think I've been through enough for one day, so if we can just get this over with. I need to get the hell out of here and reestablish my cover.
You're not here because of the Giraud mission.
What? Noah, then why the hell am I even here?
Maya, sit down. Yesterday, we received some disturbing transmissions. Footage from several colonies in the region.
I sat there and watched video clips of mass destruction on various planets, seismic events, exploding infrastructure and buildings into the air, leveling cities in a matter of moments.
We scrambled search and rescue as soon as possible, but it was total devastation.
What is it?
We don't know.
Well, who's shooting? What are they shooting at?
We don't know. Something about these events. They fry everything in the area.
Whatever it was, Oni couldn't keep it under wraps for long. The force of it was jaw-dropping to witness, and the destruction was cataclysmic. So why am I here?
You're being reassigned. We still need Pharaoh, but this is your new mission. We need you to go into one of these colonies and gather intel. Hopefully you can help us figure out what these things are.
I asked him why they needed me to go get this data. They had more than enough scientists on the payroll.
We've done everything we can to secure the sites of these attacks. So far we've secured 4, but the 5th has fallen into NCA control.
The New Colonial Alliance. Do you think they're involved?
We don't know. But whatever did this, we can't risk it falling into their hands. We're trying to get control of the story, but rumors are kicking up all sorts of chaos on the colonies. The NCA appears to be making a power move.
I'd brushed shoulders with fringe NCA factions many times, and I wasn't keen on encountering them again. But still, why me? Why not just send in Spartans?
We don't want to send in the cavalry until we know what's going on down there. We need someone on the ground. Someone the rebels will trust.
Before I could begin to catch up on what was happening, Noah walked over and clasped an NCA pin on my lapel. What's this?
It's one of our best. Say hello, Black Box.
Hello, Black Box. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Awful.
Are you kidding me? An AI?
Orders came down from the top. This mission is of the utmost importance. We can't take any chances.
Maya, I'm very much looking forward to our time together. I've heard lots of things about you.
I'm not okay with this.
Not okay with what? Being deployed on a high-risk operation that is well beyond your pre-established purview? Or is it the part about being partnered with a highly intelligent AI, with the proven experience and expertise integral to the success of this mission?
So I'm being micromanaged now?
You don't have a choice, Maya.
Wait, what about Ari? Isn't he under with the NCA?
We've been trying to re-establish contact. He went black just after he relayed intel about the attacks.
Wait, you knew these attacks were coming and you did nothing?
We didn't know anything, Maya. The intel came from an unreliable source. We've been working hard to verify
Where did the intel come from?
I can't tell you that, but let's just say someone who's burned us before.
Is Ari...
Ari may have been made, Maya. We're completely blind on the ground. We need to know what's going on in that camp.
This assignment was bigger than me or the rebels. As we sorted out my escape narrative, a dark reality hit me. In all my other missions, I'd been dealing with people. Dangerous radicals, sure, but still just people. This was something different. Something massive and powerful. Whatever caused these events, whatever destroyed those colonies, all of humanity could be at risk. Okay. I'm in.
This is Agent Maya Sankar. I'm on Conrad's Point in a planet-wide dark zone. I managed to make contact. The situation inside could be potentially hostile, but something big. And it is definitely soon. I don't have time to wait. I'm headed into the camp now. No matter what happens, I hope it's not as bad as I...
As we made our way towards Conrad's Point, my head was still spinning. The raid at the camp, seeing Ben, the intel about these events, it was almost too much to handle. But something about it felt familiar, too. I thought back to when I was monitoring Mashak Maradi. Right before he was going to expose me to Ben, he had been on to something. The chatter about the anomalies in deep space, and then just a few weeks later, Ari relays his own warnings to Oni HQ? Could they be connected? With so many skeletons in Oni's closet, it was just a matter of time before some of them found their way out.
Maya, you need to focus.
I was so lost in thought that I didn't realize we were coming up on Conrad's Point.
A world gone dark is a scary question hanging in space. You need to be present and ready. There could be anything beneath those clouds, and I'd prefer not to die today.
This operation was rife with uncertainty. We were approaching Conrad's Point, a world in chaos, controlled by militant NCA rebels. My only link to them was a fellow agent, Ari Resnick. But he'd gone dark weeks ago, and now this whole planet was dark because of a catastrophic seismic event. All that uncertainty should have been terrifying. It should have felt immediate and sharp, but somehow it didn't. It seemed far away, surreal. I needed to pull it together.
Someone down there is using an analog transponder.
What?
Look, extreme caution, ping on final approach. Friendly pings get new coordinates.
Ari.
Looks like Captain Resnick may be alive after all.
It had to be him. Ari Resnick was one of the most resourceful people I'd ever known. A gifted mediator, an eccentric tinkerer, and a good friend. As an agent, he orchestrated complex social ecosystems with impeccable technical precision. But ironically, when it came to actual tech, he was more of an artist. Finding a way to send a signal from a dead world? Risking his neck to warn others? That was Ari. I'm shutting down for dead dive.
The question is, are these cautionary measures in response to human or non-human threats?
Well, we'll know soon enough. Freefall was rough, to say the least. But I held down my lunch, opened the drag as late as possible, and then quietly brought the transporter down in a well-hidden, jagged ravine. I may have had no idea what we were walking into, but I was making damn sure we had a way to get back out.
What a heinous, depressing rock. It's really no wonder these people are so angry. They make camp on waste worlds. I mean, I'd be quite angry myself.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're here for leisure. On the remote fringes, a planet like Conrad is the perfect hideout for the NCA. They take over abandoned mining facilities and establish military training grounds. Life out here, it isn't for the faint of heart.
This region is lovely. Just lovely. All the rocks.
This is it. Nobody's here.
Why don't you try the vantage point up there? On that rock.
I came up the ridge and the sun suddenly crested into view. I shielded my eyes and finally saw the wider landscape. Behind us and to the sides it was all jutting rocks, but then the ridge dropped off, sloping gradually into a much smoother section. I squinted into the light, barely making out the silhouettes of massive industrial structures in the distance. I don't like this. We're exposed up here. I looked out again and realized what was off about the area beyond the ridge. Oh my god. It was a crater. A vast hole. Like someone had just torn out a massive section of the planet's surface. I hadn't seen it because the size of it was impossible. I was so in awe, I didn't even hear him sneak up on me.
Listen carefully and do exactly what I say.
I turned around and saw Ari, pointing a gun at me. Ari, what are you...
Stop talking. Put your hands up. Don't move. Don't talk. They may be watching. You just showed up here and I don't know you. I'm pointing my gun and that scares you. Now give me the bag.
Ari yanked the bag from me and rifled through it with one hand. I played along. I assure you, there's nothing threatening in there.
I see that, so I'm becoming less aggressive. I'm assuming you're here because of the event.
Yes.
I'm giving you back your bag. We're getting over our misunderstanding. I'm asking who you are.
I'm the rebel leader, Pharaoh.
I've heard of you. The situation is starting to relax.
Were you here when it happened?
No, we came right after. I'm lowering the gun because I realize we're on the same side.
Well, now that all of that ceremonious posturing is out of the way, can we get on with the mission at hand?
A smart AI?
Yeah.
The name is Black Box. Your reputation precedes you, Captain.
It's good to see you, Ari. They were afraid you were dead.
Yeah, and what do you think?
My faith never wavered.
So are you the entire brigade?
Just me and Black Box. Here to find out what the NCA knows, or has, and report back to HQ.
Well, I don't have a lot. We were close by when the colony was hit, but by the time we got here, it was all over. All I know is it caused major seismic damage, fried every piece of tech on the planet, and left behind that hole, half-mile wide. Lancier's got the site blocked off now. Only a select few have been allowed in. Ilsa's planning her next move.
Ilsa? Ilsa Zane is here? I thought she was dead.
You didn't know? Well, it was in my last message before I went dark.
No,
Damn. They really sent you in here blind. Or they don't know. After she attacked the Infinity, Ilsa was picked up by some NCA loyalists. She's been running roughshod over this faction ever since, executing anyone she sees as a problem.
Ilsa Zane was a walking science experiment gone wrong. At one point, she'd been slated for the Spartan program, an attempt at building the ultimate unarmored killing machine, but she snapped. After defecting to the NCA, she was quickly indoctrinated and promoted to Admiral Drake's attack dog.
Then, when the colony was hit by the event, she brought us all here. The bloodletting seems to be over now, but everyone's still on edge, unable to use comms, unable to leave.
But why haven't you escaped?
Well, I've certainly thought about it, but I can't. I'm trying to keep a lid on things here. They've got enough thermonukes in the armory to flatten a whole system, and Ilsa's been setting the table for total war against the UNSC. I'm hopeful I can steer things back from the edge, get her finger off the nukes until Oni can take her out.
I should send a sit rep to Noah before we go in.
Hold that thought, Maya. We've got movement on the perimeter, several guards heading this way.
Quickly, brief me. You were abducted by Oni. What happened?
I escaped custody and hijacked a prisoner transport. They were questioning me about the colony attacks. I was worried, so after I broke out, I came here.
That's the best they could do? Lucky prison break? All right, we'll have to make it work. Ilsa's been pulling rebels in from all over, so we say you're just another fighter joining the party. Now lay low in there. It won't take a blown cover to set Ilsa off. She'll kill you if she thinks you're dead weight. And keep the AI quiet unless you want to lose him.
I am but a lapel pin.
Found another one, boys.
What are you doing outside the perimeter, Ari?
It's called a perimeter check, Raj. And it worked.
The crew was heavily armed and looked severely sleep-deprived. Ilsa seemed to have them on a hair trigger. It was tense, but Ari worked his magic, cracked a few smiles, and I was suddenly being escorted into the encampment as a guest of the NCA. There were hundreds of rebels with dozens of affiliations packed inside the dilapidated refinery, drinking and shouting, almost maniacally festive. It was a party, but it all felt slightly unhinged. What's the occasion?
That's a good question. It's been silent as the grave in here until late last night. Our guys broke out the Colonel's old cases of whiskey and told everyone it was a celebration. Everyone's been wound pretty tight.
I can see that.
All right, why don't you go grab a drink? I'm gonna make the rounds, see what I can find out.
As I laid low, I looked around hoping to spot any familiar faces. But I didn't see a sympathetic resistance. These weren't my people. I saw bloodlust. Groups responsible for attacks on civilians. Half the people here were mercenaries. No one seemed to stand for anything except vengeance. From fire to blood. Any banner you want to fly to justify crushing skulls. This was the opposite of everything I had fought for as Pharaoh. I was hoping Ari would hurry up when I heard a familiar voice.
Pharaoh!
Bostwick? Oh my God!
You're alive! Yeah, I knew it. I knew they wouldn't get you. When you got taken, everyone scattered. Everyone thought you were dead, but not me. I knew you wouldn't let Ani take you.
Bostwick had been drinking. A lot. A 5'0" rebel girl who probably weighed 100 pounds wet stood out in a group like this as is. But a drunk one was bound to attract unwanted attention.
Bostwick, what are you doing here? I joined after the scatter. Half of our group was killed. Rumors were spreading like wildfire.
And what? The NCA offered you protection?
I don't know if I'd put it that way. I'd say they needed protection from me.
Watch what
I did. My bad, I'm just playing.
When I first found her, she was an angry 17-year-old. Just lost her parents in a UNSC incident on Deacom. They operated a little convenience stand on the outskirts of a military base. Some troopers were drunk, tossing around plasma grenades they seized from a Covenant supply ship. One went awry. The troopers just got a slap on the wrist. Bostwick got a form letter apology. She coped by getting aggressive, assembling a small group of fellow Outer Colony kids orphaned by the UNSC. They mostly just engaged in petty theft, but by the time Bostwick and I crossed paths, she was turning her sights to a more violent course. So I took her under my wing. She was dedicated, a fast learner. I'd gotten her to start directing her anger towards positive change, but She still had a lot of growing up to do.
What do they have you doing? Perimeter checks mostly, around the north end. They got me protecting some operation on the whole. Bunch of scientists going in and out, taking readings.
Readings? Okay, what can you tell me about
Maya.
BB, I told you to.
I was about to say, don't speak.
Who are you talking
I'm
to?
broadcasting directly into your ear canal.
Sorry, I thought I saw. Who's
I
that?
transmitted a detailed report back to headquarters. Apparently Command is authorizing a strike using our current position as coordinates. Opportunity to kill Ilsa Zane is too great. Time is of the essence. We must go now.
Hurry.
What? You okay, Pharaoh?
Smooth.
Yeah, I'm fine. Come on, we gotta get you out of here.
Okay, let's do it. Wait, where are we going?
They weren't giving me much time to get out before the bombs started dropping. I had to find an exit. That's when Ari reappeared from the crowd.
Here, take this.
Ari handed me a data chip. He looked unnerved.
What?
I didn't have time to ask questions, though.
We need to leave now.
Ari could see the fire in my eyes. He knew it was serious.
Stick close and walk small.
We made it about halfway to the entrance when the door came rolling down.
They're sealing it up. Stop.
They were closing all the doors. We were trapped. Ari was working out another escape plan when Ilsa Zane stepped into the room, seemingly sucking all the air out of it. The entire facility, packed with rebels, had become suddenly unnervingly quiet. The crowd parted as she crossed the floor. Everyone turned to face her, eyes mostly averted. And then she stopped, 15 feet from where we were standing. Ari carefully slid himself in front of me.
Stay down.
I could just see over Ari's shoulder. Ilsa was big. Scary big. I didn't know what the techs had done to her in the Spartan program. It made her stronger for sure, but they'd broken something too. There was a glint in her eye. Something unhinged, something inhuman.
This is a celebration. And it should be. We've made a lot of changes in a very short amount of time. When I found you, there was no discipline, no uniformity. Just a bunch of misfits with different allegiances and philosophies. That was a problem of leadership. The Colonel had allowed this legendary faction of the NCA to devolve into a forum for individual interests. You were scattered and slow, and that's a death sentence. I relieved him of his command because bands of misfits don't win wars. Big machines do. Big machines made of lots of little pieces moving with the same purpose. That's what we needed to build here. And it's not easy. Every piece has to have a place, and when a piece doesn't fit, you have to get creative. You cut part of it off, smash it into place so it never pops out again. You do what you have to, and you trim the fat. I'm pleased to say that each and every one of you still with us has found your place. And we have built one hell of a machine. And it's almost time to turn it on. That hole outside represents our entry point into this war. That's why I brought you here to Conrad's Point. The landscape is changing. The UNSC is on their heels because of that hole. And we are going to capitalize on that weakness. We just needed the right moment. Which brings me to my announcement.
She walked around with incredible control of the room. You felt like she could suck the life out of anyone at any time.
How many of you have lost friends, loved ones at the hands of Spartans? Well, today, we get to put a very big one in the other column.
Baby, what is she talking about?
I'm checking the feeds. Hold on. Oh my.
What?
This can't be.
In the wake of the seismic events that struck here and 4 other colonies, I have verified with numerous sources that our moment has arrived.
The Master Chief.
The Master Chief?
He's dead.
Is dead.
The mood shifted. There was some scattered cheering, but is it true? I don't think anyone knew what to do.
I don't know.
What to think.
It's not good, though.
The Master Chief was the greatest hero we had ever known. He had saved humanity from the brink of extinction. defeated the Covenant and almost single-handedly brought an end to the war. What could possibly have the power to kill the Master Chief?
Yes! The poster boy for the UNSC and the Spartan program was killed in action. That's why we're celebrating. That's why this is a party.
Ari, we need to make a move
This
now.
is the beginning of a new...
While the crowd was stirring, Ari bit the bullet and started moving towards a side entrance as we followed. We didn't make it far, though.
And that requires expanding our ranks. That's why I'm glad to see we have even more new faces here.
Stop. She knows you're here.
Even today, I hear we got a new shipment of fresh meat. I don't know you, soldier.
She was calling me out.
My name is Pharaoh.
I know that name. You've been making a lot of noise recently, haven't you?
A little too much, perhaps.
You talk about transitioning us out of military conflict, is that right? Build up economic power?
I think it's a viable option if
Look around. There's a reason these people are following me. There's a reason they scream from fire to blood. You are naive. Your dreams for tomorrow make us look weak. So what exactly can you offer our movement? Words and speeches? Negotiation? We are done with those.
Ilsa, she's got a strong logistical background. Maybe she can help us there.
Ilsa didn't speak for a moment. Her eyes were locked on me. But then she relaxed and the tension finally broke.
I think you're right, Ari. We need some creative thinking on maintaining supply chains here. Pharaoh could be very useful in that capacity. That's what I'm talking about. Making pieces fit. As a leader, you have to know which pieces can be repurposed and which ones are just trash.
No!
It happened just like that. Ilsa didn't even look. She just raised her arm and fired. A single shot at point-blank range, and he crumpled to the floor. Ilsa Zane had just blown Ari's brains out.
Now, I'm hoping this is news to all of you here, but our good friend Ari, as it turns out, was a mole. He was working for Oni.
She just killed him like he was nothing. I knew he was gone, but I wanted to go to his side and try to help somehow. But I couldn't move. I couldn't think. Ilsa kept speaking.
He was a treacherous little traitor, and that's not a piece you can make fit.
Everything was spinning. I was trying to figure out my next move. I spotted Bostwick lurking at the ready in my peripheral when Ilsa pointed her gun right at me.
Now, where were we? That's right. Ari had just vouched for you, which means you're probably another Oni stooge. I could question you, ask what's in your head, or we could just look.
Before I could stop her, Bostwick jumped to my defense, stepping in front of the gun and raising a knife to Ilsa Zane's throat.
She's not Oni! Pharaoh's a real leader, and you should show some respect when addressing her. I vouch for her!
Little girl, next time you pull a knife on someone, don't hesitate.
Ilsa moved with incredible speed and power, knocking Bostwick halfway across the room.
Maya, we're out of time.
Stop! Ilsa, listen. There's an airstrike on its way.
Airstrike?
We all have to go now, or everyone will die.
How do you...
Everything froze. I could see the rage building in Ilsa as she cracked a smile, seemingly enjoying it all. I saw Bostwick look up at me out the corner of my eye. I knew I'd just broken her heart.
Incoming in 3, 2...
You only bitch.
I don't really know what happened next. The impact of the bomb took me off my feet. All I can remember is grabbing Bostwick, blood pouring out of her shoulder and running, cutting through the crowd, everyone going every which way. The confusion had given me a head start on Ilsa, but as I broke outside, I could hear her screaming behind us. She was coming after me.
Black box! I need a way out.
The hangar just ahead. They would have brought vehicles for the officers.
I got Bostwick into the hangar. She was pale and had lost a lot of blood. I tossed her on the back of an old mongoose, fired it up, and sped off. Ilsa must have had the same idea.
Maya, if you could go a bit faster, someone is firing at us.
I know!
I sped back across the crater, over the rocks, and up to the jagged ravine where I'd landed the prison transport.
Baby, Open the bay door!
Yeah, opening now.
I rode the mongoose up the ramp and into the ship as Ilsa and her crew came in hot, pelting the transport with a shower of artillery.
Door, BB!
On it! The ship is prepped. We're ready to go.
Then go already!
As we lifted off, Ilsa was still firing at us from below. I settled Bostwick into one of the bunks and slumped down against the railing as we broke through the atmosphere. I could feel the reality of what just happened, filling my body with every breath. Forget that my cover was blown, or that Bostwick would never forgive or trust me again. At least she was alive. But Ari was dead.
Mother.
But I had to keep going. I took a deep breath and buried Ari in my mind. I set to finding any medical supplies I could to extract the shrapnel from her shoulder. The ship was mostly empty, just a vessel to keep my cover intact. But I was able to cobble together enough supplies to tend to her wounds.
Who are you?
Save your strength. You're gonna need it. As Bostwick passed out, I made my way to the front of the ship. I finally had a moment to catch my breath. I couldn't help myself as my thoughts drifted back to Ari. Then I remembered the data chip. I pulled it out of my pocket and popped it into the console. A flood of information about the seismic events. Readings, charts, data, predictions. The NCA must have had teams working around the clock, gathering anything out of the ordinary. They were looking for a signature, something unique Ilsa could use to predict where the next disasters would hit. The answers were all in front of me, but I didn't know how to read them. Thankfully, I knew someone who could.
Maya, we need to get your friend professional medical treatment as soon as possible. We should set course for the nearest ONI facility.
No. I've got a place. Setting course now.